Okay, we'll continue our exploration of St. Thomas Aquinas's thought on the unique sacramental mode of Christ's presence in the Eucharist. Now, I said that this is perhaps the most difficult part of our course, and this lecture in particular, I think, is one of the hardest to understand. It's very difficult to imagine, to give ourselves a mental picture of the way Thomas suggests that Christ is present in the Eucharist. Because Thomas is going to explain Christ's way of being in the Eucharist in a way that's very different than any other body around us. He's already told us that Christ is present substantially. It's a substantial presence. The substance of bread becomes the substance of Christ's body, and the substance of wine becomes the substance of Christ's blood. And he's told us that the whole and entire Christ is present in the Eucharist, and that the whole Christ is present under either species by this natural concomitance. But now he's going to take it one step further and explain how very odd this mode of presence is, or how very different it is from the mode of presence of any other body that we experience. So let's see what he says. And now we move on to Article 3 in question 76 in the Summa Theologiae. So Thomas says, because the substance of Christ's body is in this sacrament by the power of the sacrament, okay, so far so good. The substance of Christ's body is in the Eucharist by the power of the sacrament. This is my body. We have the substance of Christ's body. Hopefully that makes sense. While, and here's where it gets complicated, while dimensive quantity is there by reason of real concomitance. Now, this is why concomitance, introduced earlier, is an important term, right? Under the species of bread is present the substance of Christ's body by the power of the sacrament. And by natural concomitance, by this accompaniment, also present under the appearance of bread is Christ's blood, Christ's soul, and Christ's divinity, the whole Christ under the appearance of bread. We'll stick with bread. We'll stick with the appearance of bread for a moment. We could do the same thing with the species of wine, but let's focus on the species of bread. What else is present by concomitance? Well, everything that is really united to the body of Christ. What is truly united to the natural body of Christ, the glorified body of Christ in heaven? Well, we said, his blood, his soul, his divinity, all present under the appearance of bread by this natural accompaniment, natural concomitance. But what else is really united to Christ's natural glorified body? Things like his dimensive quantity. What is dimensive quantity? That's not language we use every day. I'll give you an example. A piece of paper. Let's see if I can get this in my camera. This piece of paper has the substance, paper, paperness, right? Gotta bring my camera up. There we go. Okay, so substance of paper. This substance of paper has as one of its accidents whiteness, for instance. It's a white piece of paper. If we colored it black or yellow or purple, it would still have the substance of paper, but it would have a different accident, different appearance. Another accident of this paper is its dimensive quantity. That is, how much of it is there. Dimensive quantity, you could think of its dimensions, how big it is. And dimensive quantity tells us that it's extended in space. Part of the paper is over here, and part of it is here, and part of it is here. It's extended through space by these dimensive quantities. Now, dimensive quantity is an accident. Right? I could take my paper and tear it in half, and now it has different dimensive quantities. It was larger before, now it has less dimensive quantity. Right? There's less quantity and its dimensions are less. It's extended in space in a different way. We could also say that place is an accident. So this substance of paper right here is present in this place because of its dimensive quantities. Right? If I move it over here, it doesn't change substance. Place is an accident, right? The paper, the substance is here, now it's here. Change of accident, place, not a change of substance. So dimensive quantity, which makes it extended in space, which allows it to be in a place, right? That's an accident of the substance of paper. And notice that changing the dimensive quantity does not change the substance. In fact, the substance of paper is present equally in both pieces now, and it's present regardless of the size, or if I divide it, because this is still 100% the substance paper. Okay, so let's apply this now to the odd case of the Eucharist. Okay. In the paper, and in every body around you, dimensive quantity is really united to the substance. Right? This substance is present in a place, this place, because it's mediated there by its dimensive quantity. Dimensive quantity, the dimensive quantity of Christ's body is present in the Eucharist in a different way than in most bodies. Okay? The dimensive quantity of Christ's body is present in the Eucharist in a way different than dimensive quantity is present in other bodies. It's present by real concomitance. Okay? So the substance of Christ's body is present by the power of the sacrament. The dimensive quantity is there in a different way. It's there by virtue of concomitance. Consequently, Christ's body is in this sacrament substantively, that is, in the way in which substance is under its dimensions. Right? And we said that. How is substance present in these dimensions? There's not more substance of the bread over here, or part of the substance of paper over here, and part of the substance of paper on the other side. No, the whole substance of paper is present at any point in the dimensions. Right? Notice now what this says about the Eucharist. Christ's body is in the Eucharist in this way, substantively. That is, in the way in which a substance is under dimensions. That means if I hold the Eucharistic host, Christ's body isn't extended in space, right? The whole Christ is present not only under both species, but under each part of each species equally. So it's not as if I hold a host, it's not as if Christ's head is at the top and his feet are at the bottom of the host. No, and we know that. This simply helps us to try to explain it. Christ's body is present in a way different than your body is present where you're sitting. See, my body is present, my head is at the top, my feet are at the bottom, my arms are out at the sides. In the Eucharist, Christ's body is present like substance is present in paper, whole and entire in each part. Okay. So far, so good, I hope. Now, I want to say, if this is difficult, don't worry. Okay, this is not, I think, again, this is one of the more difficult pieces of our class. If you just don't grasp this at the end, you haven't lost a tremendous amount. So we'll do our best. That's my point. Let's do our best trying to understand this unique mode of Christ's presence. So Christ's body, in the previous slide here, or the previous bullet point, Christ's body is present substantively, but not after the manner of dimensions, right? Christ's body isn't present in an extended way in the Eucharist, right? Christ's body is not extended in space where part of it is over here and part of it is over there. So Christ's body is not present after the manner of dimensions, which means not in the way in which the dimensive quantity of a body is under the dimensive quantity of a place. Now notice, this paper has a dimensive quantity of about this much, right? And therefore, it's in this much of a place. The dimensive quantity of the paper mediates it to this place. And if I move it over here, the dimensive quantity of the paper now mediates it to this place. But Christ's body is not present in the Eucharist after the manner of dimensions. It's there differently, after the manner of substance. So Christ's body is not present as in a place. We'll look at that a little bit more. He says, now, it is evident that the whole nature of a substance is under every part of the dimensions under which it is contained. I mentioned that with the paper. The whole substance of paper is present in every part. It's not that some of the substance of paper is up here and the rest is down here. That's how substance is present in something, right? In that kind of way. Just as, he gives the example of air, the entire nature of air is under every part of the air. And the entire nature of bread is under every part of bread. And therefore, it's manifest, if you follow him this far, it's manifest that the entire Christ is under every part of the species of bread. And we could say then, wine as well. So where Thomas has taken us by this unique manner of presence, this unique mode of presence, is the entire Christ is present in the Eucharist. The entire Christ is present under either species of the Eucharist, and the entire Christ is present under every part of either species of the Eucharist. And this is a unique way for Christ's body to be present. He goes on a little bit further. Any part of Christ is in this sacrament in two ways, and he's already told us this. In one way, by the power of the sacrament. This is my body. This is my blood. But also, any part of Christ might be present by this real concomitance. Okay. By the power of the sacrament, the dimensive quantity of Christ's body is not in this sacrament, right? We've already said Christ's dimensive quantity, the fact that he's extended in space, is not present by the power of the sacrament. What's present by the power of the sacrament is, this is my body, this is my blood. That does not include dimensive quantity. It is the substance of Christ's body that is present, the substance of his blood. Dimensive quantity is not present in that way by the power of the sacrament. For by the power of the sacrament is present the substance of Christ's body and not its dimensions. Right? This is like, by the power of the sacrament, when we say, this is my body, by the power of the sacrament, what's present is the substance of Christ's body. It's by natural concomitance that we also have his blood, soul, and divinity. That means it's going to also be by natural concomitance that Christ's dimensive quantity is somehow present. So Thomas again says, by the power of this sacrament, the substance of Christ's body is present and not its dimensions. He says this is evident from the fact that the dimensive quantity of bread remains after the consecration, while only the substance of bread passes away. So he's saying this is common sense. When we look at the host, it's this big, it's round, it's small. That is clearly not the dimensive quantity of Christ's body, which would be much larger, right? Christ is much larger than the host. What remains after consecration is the dimensive quantity of bread. That's just apparent to us. It's clear. What's left after consecration is the dimensive quantity of bread. Nevertheless, since the substance of Christ's body, his natural body in heaven, his glorified body, since the substance of Christ's body is not really deprived of its dimensive quantity and its other accidents, right? So watch what Thomas is doing. Just as Christ's body is really united right now in heaven, Christ's body is really united right now to his blood and his soul and his divinity. So Christ's body right now is really united to its dimensive quantity. It's being extended in space, right? Being so many meters tall. And all of Christ's other accidents are really united to his body. That means hence it comes that by reason of real concomitance, the whole dimensive quantity of Christ's body and all its other accidents are in this sacrament. Now that is, I think, the hardest part of this to understand. Right? If Thomas is right about concomitance, right, that where Christ's body is, there is his blood. Where Christ's body is, there is his soul. Where Christ's body is, there is his divinity. Then he must also be right that where Christ's body is, there also are all of its accidents, including its dimensive quantity. So he's saying where Christ's body is present in this sacrament, by the power of the sacrament, this is my body. Present also by natural accompaniment or by concomitance are his dimensive quantity and all his other accidents. Now, why that's difficult to understand is because we don't see that. We don't see all of Christ's accidents. We don't see his dimensive quantity. What we see are the accidents and the dimensive quantity of bread. and of wine. So what does it mean for dimensive quantity, right? Dimensive quantity to be present in the Eucharist? Well, that will take us to part 3 of these lectures. So hold on for that.